welcome to today's yoga class. Thank you so much for joining me here today. My name is Elise and I'm a certified yoga instructor. In today's class, we will be doing a 20-minute beginner's Vinyasa Yoga flow. So this is for any level type, but we're going to be focusing on variations for beginner students. So throughout this class, we're just going to do a yoga flow together, reconnecting to the body, mind, and spirit through our yoga practice. We'll be going through different poses, and I'll be guiding you through the entire practice. So if you have a mat or a comfortable place to practice, you can go ahead and meet me on the mat, and we can begin our class. Thank you so much. And let's go ahead and get started. So starting on our mats, we can meet in our tabletop position. So in tabletop, we want to have those knees directly below the hips and the palms directly below the shoulders. From here, let's just start off with simple cat and cow poses. So cat, we're going to inhale, arching that spine all the way up. And exhale, sinking it down and lifting that chin and head up, gazing forward. So again, together we inhale, drawing that spine all the way up, arching it here. And exhale, allowing it to sink down as we lift up the chin and gaze forward. So together, inhale, up into cat, and exhale, coming into our cow. You can continue this at your own pace. Just simply following your breath here. One more time together, let's inhale, coming up into cat, and exhale, bringing that chest and chin up into cow. From here, let's inhale up to cat, and this time we're going to exhale, dropping the hips down onto our heels here. Allowing your glutes to rest on the heels. Let's inhale, stretching those arms forward, trying to walk them out in front of us. And we're going to exhale, dropping the forehead down onto the mat. Coming into our child's pose. So in child's pose, you can allow your body to rest, taking long, deep breaths here. This is a pose that you can always come back to during your yoga practice to reset, to catch your breath, and to rest your body, respecting its boundaries. So just breathing here, connecting to your body, feeling a stretch through the arms and upper body. When you're ready, let's inhale, gazing towards those fingertips, lifting all the way up, and exhale. We're going to bend those elbows, coming down gently, bringing that chest and chin to the mat. And from here, we're going to drop those legs and stay right here on our torso on the mat. So we're going to practice coming up into our cobra pose together. And within cobra pose, you want to have those palms directly below your shoulders. With those elbows, instead of having them out towards our side, draw them in towards the body, keeping the elbows tight against the torso. So together, let's inhale, pushing up off the mat. You're going to keep a slight bend in the elbows and gaze up towards the sky. Breathing in here. And exhale to release back down onto the mat. From here, let's go ahead and put our hands out to either side of our body. I'm going to begin by placing my head down on the mat, gazing towards that right hand here. And I'm going to inhale, lifting up that right leg. Exhale, bending it over. I'm going to try to bring those toes towards the mat here. Taking a long, deep breath here, feeling a stretch throughout the spine. Inhale, drawing that leg back up, squaring the hips, and exhale, dropping it back down onto the mat. This time I'm going to rest my head gazing towards that left hand. Inhale, lifting up the left leg, and exhale, bending it over my body. Trying to bring that foot towards the mat here. Breathing here. On that next inhale, lifting the leg all the way back up, squaring my hips, and exhale, dropping that leg back down onto the mat. From here, I'm going to draw those hands back towards my side. And together, let's inhale up into that cobra, keeping those elbows close, tucked into the body. Let's inhale, pushing up, opening the shoulders, drawing them back, and gazing towards the sky here. Exhale. And as we inhale, let's tuck those toes, putting them underneath our body, and lift those hips up off the mat. You can straighten your elbows here. This is an upward facing dog. Inhale here. Exhale, let's push up and drop those hips back. So coming into our downward facing dog, you want to lift those hips up and push them back. From here, we can start out by pedaling our dog. So this just means that we're going to be bending those knees and just slowly walking out our feet here. Just stretch out the legs and make this pose a bit more comfortable for us. So together with the knees bent, you can just walk this out. Continuing to breathe here. Switching feet with each breath. Just pedaling it out. An important thing to remember in downward facing dog is that we want to evenly distribute the weight between the palms and the heels. So instead of leaning too far forward, we're going to press on the back of the palms and push those hips back, drawing them up and back. And from here, this is going to be bringing weight back onto those heels so that we're evenly distributing it instead of being top heavy or bottom heavy here. So continuing to breathe, make sure that that neck is dropped down and we're not keeping any tension giving up. And together, let's inhale. We're going to bring up that left leg coming into our three-legged downward facing dog. So inhale, lifting it up. And exhale, let's bring it all the way in front and drop that foot down onto the mat with the knee between our palms here. Inhale, walking the hands over towards our hips. Let's draw those shoulders back, opening up the chest, gazing up, breathing in here. This is our pigeon pose. Inhale here, and exhale. You can sink down onto your forearms here, clasping your hands together. You can either meet your forehead down onto your hands, or if you'd like a deeper stretch, you can go ahead and put those arms out flat in front of you, bringing the chest down towards the mat. So from here, I'm going to start by just coming with my forearms down on the mat, just stretching here. So long, deep breaths together. With each breath, trying to sink a little bit deeper into the stretch, making sure that your body is comfortable here. Continuing to breathe here. At this point, if you want a deeper stretch, this is when you can extend those arms out in front of you. And let's inhale, we're going to push up onto those fingertips, walking them back towards the center of our hips. From here, we can try coming into King Pigeon if you would like, or you can go ahead and just stay in our pigeon pose. So in King Pigeon, this is when we're going to take that back right leg and just lift it up off the mat. So a variation is to just keep your hand down on the mat for beginners. And taking that right arm, we're going to reach back with our hand, reaching towards that foot, stretching here, pushing up onto your fingertips. We're going to hold this here, gazing towards that foot. This is our King Pigeon pose. And exhale, releasing that foot back down onto the mat. Let's center our body here, putting our hands back down on the mat. Together, tucking that toe in. We're going to inhale, lifting that left leg up off the mat. And exhale, sinking back into our downward facing dog. Inhale, stretching just a bit deeper. And exhale to release that left leg back down on the mat. From here, let's go ahead and exhale, dropping the knees and sinking those hips back into our child's pose. So dropping the forehead on the mat, let's just breathe here, noticing how the left hip feels in comparison to the right hip. Just breathing here, becoming aware of the body, allowing those hips to rest before we come back up to do this on the right side. If your arms are sore, you can go ahead and put them to the side of your body. So instead of placing those hands out in front of us, you can reach towards the soles of your feet and just allow your hands to rest on either side of your body here. Just taking long, deep breaths. Together, let's inhale, coming up, pushing those hips back up into tabletop. Exhale here. Inhale, tucking those toes, lifting up. And exhale, pushing into that downward facing dog. Now we're going to go ahead and walk it out one more time, just getting comfortable here. Making sure to evenly distribute that weight, pushing onto the back of the wrists. Pushing those hips up and back. Together with the next inhale, let's lift that right leg up this time. Keeping the hips squared here, coming into that three-legged downward facing dog. Inhale, stretching a little bit deeper, and exhale, let's bring that knee all the way down, placing the knee down right in between the hands, and let's sink down into our pigeon pose. So bringing that leg across, we're going to walk our hands towards our hips. From here, drawing the shoulder blades back, keeping the chest open and chin lifted. Take a long, deep breath here. Inhale, stretching a bit further. And exhale, you can sink down onto the mat here. Dropping your forearms, you can interlace your fingers, resting your forehead either on your fist or leaving it a bit lifted off the ground, whatever feels comfortable for you in this present moment. So taking deep breaths here, trying to get a little bit deeper with each breath. Feeling the stretch throughout the legs and hip. If you'd like, from here you can go ahead and extend those arms out in front, dropping the chest down towards the mat, resting your forehead directly on the mat. This is just to deepen that stretch throughout the upper body and to deepen the stretch at your hip. If this is uncomfortable, you can go ahead and stay in forearm position. One more long deep breath here. And on the next inhale, let's push up onto those hands, walking with the fingertips back towards the center, drawing the shoulders back. And again from here, if you'd like a challenge, we can come into that king pigeon pose. So I'm going to rest this right hand down in front for stability for our beginners class. I'm going to come up onto those fingertips here. And together, let's lift that left leg up off the mat with my left hand reaching towards that foot. I'm going to gaze towards that foot, stretching it here. Inhale, pulling it in closer. And exhale, releasing that knee back down onto the mat. I'm going to center my body, and together, let's inhale, tucking that toe underneath. We're going to push that leg up off the mat into a plank. Inhale, up, and exhale, sinking into that three-legged downward facing dog. Inhale, stretching a bit deeper here, and exhale, dropping that foot down onto the mat. From our downward facing dog, let's inhale, gazing towards those fingertips, and we're going to walk our feet over towards our hands. Exhale, sinking down into our standing forward fold. So from here, you can go ahead and allow a slight bend in the knees. or you can keep them straight if you're able to comfortably come down meeting your toes. But otherwise, it is completely okay to bend those knees depending on how your body feels today. From here, we're going to do a big toe standing forward fold. So this just means that we're going to take the index and middle finger and loop it under our big toes here. So again, bending your knees as generously as you need to be able to reach this pose comfortably. Breathing here, we're just going to stretch, pulling the body up, engaging the torso. And exhale, dropping here, letting go of those toes. You can sink down, reaching towards your mat. Breathing here, deeper into the stretch. And exhale. From here, let's go ahead and just grab at either elbow. So this allows us to hang here, opening up space between each vertebra without overextending our body. So this will slowly help you to build flexibility here. So just allow our body to hang here. You can rock slightly back and forth if that feels comfortable. And let's just take a few long deep breaths together. One more inhale here. And exhale to release. And the next inhale, let's come down, placing our fingertips on the mat. We're going to gaze forward, lifting the chest and chin here. And exhale, we're going to sink down onto that mat. And from here, let's go ahead and meet in a seated position. We're going to come into our bound angle or butterfly pose. So just meeting the soles of the feet together here. You can place your hands on the feet and just slowly try to open up the hips. You can allow those forearms to rest on the inner thighs, just adding a slight pressure here to widen the stretch. Just breathing here. Inhale, reaching up. And exhale, we can walk those hands out in front of us, stretching deeper here. Continuing to breathe at your own pace. On the next inhale, let's walk the fingertips back up. Stretching here just a bit deeper. And exhale to release. And let's meet back at the center of our mats. I just want to thank you so much for joining me here today for our Beginner's Vinyasa Yoga Flow. Today's class was focused on helping to open up our hips and to be comfortable with some of the different asanas for a beginner's class. So I hope that you found this class helpful, and I'm so happy that you joined me here today. I'm excited to see you back here for more classes. And again, my name is Elise, and it has been an honor to practice with you. Meeting our hands in heart center. Namaste. I hope to see you here again tomorrow for more classes. Thank you.